as the set skidded past him. He fell over as he hit it, but he hit it with enough force to put it away. And we've got an Olympic final on our hands now. It's 1-1 between the USA and Brazil. We'll take a break. We've had just over the hour mark, so now 4 minutes of this Olympic final between Brazil in the yellow and green and the USA in their red and navy blue. And we're back to square one. One set apiece. Brazil started with a really decent first set win against an American team that looked to be nervous, didn't look to be firing. But the Americans settled it down, started with a 6-0 lead in the second set and just hung on to it from there. Only just. And Ryan Miller huffing and puffing at the net, waiting for this second set to start. Well, the first prediction from me out of the window, I thought maybe a 2-0 lead for Brazil with a counter from the USA. But it's not. It's all square again. The thunderbolt of a serve from Clayton Stanley. Well dealt with by Brazil. Now that's a horrible set. So another free ball opportunity. And great defence from Sergio. Followed up by Lambourne, the two liberos in form. And another super block. Heller next to Dante. And that is a concern for the USA. Clayton Stanley's being stopped too many times. And well, it was he that came up with that winning shot in the last set. He's still struggling a bit with this one. Not quite hit full flow yet. And I wonder how much the two quarter-final games going to 5 sets have cost the USA in terms of their physical form. Nice swing from Riley Salmon. I think a lot of the players would tell you with a game that they feel is so much in the mind, as with so many sports, when you've got the adrenaline of an Olympic final flowing through your veins, there's no need to feel tired. Salmon then will serve, 6 from 15. All of the American spikers just a touch below par at the moment. They've worked hard on their block and serve though. That's where they've gained points. And this time that pipe shut down by Miller. That is crucial to this American performance, I think. If they can get hold of that backcourt middle attack, they can get so much of the Brazilian attack under control. And it means Marcelino has to find alternative outlets. Brilliant. Dante so capable of ferocious hitting. Hits with the best in the world, doesn't necessarily pass up there with the best in the world though, and that's where USA have to keep working away. That was inside the 3-meter line. Andre is back on court, so Murillo has gone back to the bench. Still no sign of Anderson or the big man, Samuel Fuchs. Good dig, it was shouted as an out, but I think Richard Lambourne was right to play it, and a mess from Brazil. Oh dear, Marcelino's lost his way a bit, I think. Loy ball getting trodden on by the player he was trying to block. Gustavo looking more than disgruntled, I would say. Oh, good block. Just out though. Juba laying the law down to the players. Gustavo hit this hard. Just came off that left hand of David Lee. Dante is not playing at his best. He's under pressure. Yes, that's a shot. That is a shot and a half from Clayton Stanley. hit this one line, and watch Sergio's reaction. Gets himself in position and just goalkeeper style tries to make some sort of defensive play on that. Easy play. It was a horrible shot from Marcelino. Brazil get another bite at the cherry in their lucky boys. Well, we've entered a phase in that match where the initial euphoria of being in the Olympic final has passed. The initial aggression of being here has passed. This is all now about the present. This is about starting to get the job done for gold. Good serve, bang on the line from Gustavo. That's a sweet hit. William Pretty having to execute that with almost no space. Just watch him compress on this hit to get it away in cross court. And deflections counting against Brazil in the end. 1-1, 5-5. Good dig. Oh, and a lovely off-paced attack for 6-5. Best of 5 sets. For those of you not too familiar with the sport, hope you're enjoying this Olympic final. It can be 3-0, 3-1 or 3-2. At the very least that this match is going to be is 3-1. But who to? That's the question. Andre, welcome back to court. He's got to be in court. He's got to be in the mix. And when he hits like that, I think that's the big problem for the Americans, to try and stop Andre. It's all well and good making the serves and taking Dante and Giba out of the play on the pipe and on the outside hitting. That's a good start, but if they can get the ball to Andre with any sort of pace, then it'll be problems for them. The block's functioning at such a high level. Brazil and the USA consistently getting hands to every attack. Again, it's another one that's slowed down. Ryan Miller's a bit frustrated with his back line for not playing this. Just a little rebound between the arms, and well, to be fair to Pretty, that one did go one way then the other, and at pace. Even Giba's below par on his spikes. This shows the quality of the block and post-block defense that both teams are putting up in this match, and at the moment offense is not reigning. Brazil blown away for periods in the second set, but they've recovered well in the third. Looking at the bench options for both teams, still Rodrigo to come on through the middle if Brazil need him, and there's Anderson and Samuel as possible power hitters. But for the moment, Dante, Giba and Andre doing a magnificent job as ever, and the same can be said of the men on the other side of the net. Pretty's had a slightly quiet game for the moment. Riley Salmon has hit well, and Clayton Stanley is about 50-50 at the moment. So room for the long haul in this match. Certainly in this set, it's side out for side out at the moment. Thought he'd gone for too much, but Dante's made his shot. Skipped off the top of the net tape. Dropped just on the 3-metre line. Every point at this level is lived by the players and coaches. It all matters. 1-all, 9-all. Couple of elements that are not quite working for Andre's game at the moment. His service has barely been in this match. Ryan Miller, let's see where Miller serves here. He's a slower server, so a bit more control on where it goes, and see if he goes after Dante. Yes, he does. And he moves well, but it's been stopped. It'll be Dante again. Stopped once more. And I firmly believe that that's a key tactic for the Americans. The only problem they have is serving Dante on that side opens up the pipe, and it also opens up the reverse set to Andre. They have to be aware of that, the Americans. And they've stopped the attack, and the byproduct of taking one of the players out on the Brazilian side with a good serve is that at least you reduce the options for the attackers on the Brazilian side. That means you reduce the decisions that a blocker has to make. And as a middle blocker, the less you have to think, the better. Reaction and movement times are so pressured. There is Samuel in the number 6 shirt. One of the biggest jumps in the world. You look at his stats, you look at what the Brazilians say he can touch as a spike. They say he only touches 342. I don't believe that for a minute. Must touch a good 10-15 centimetres higher than that. 12-9. USA with a bit of daylight between them and Brazil in this third set. Ryan Miller to serve. 2 good serves. On to Dante. Watch him work this line again. He's going to try and move Dante around down the line. And he does. Drags him inside. Makes it tough for him to get outside. But Dante's worked that well. And that's that personal challenge that goes on a volleyball court. And just because something sounds like a good tactic, just because something appears that it's going to work, doesn't mean that the player who's being put under pressure can't respond, and Dante's done just that. 12-10 USA. Bit of support for the Americans in the background. Nearly made it over. Yet another rule that wouldn't have been in existence the last time these two played in an Olympic final in '84. The ball hitting the net tape and going in being a fault back in those days. Back in the day, as we oldies like to say. Loy ball then. Talking of oldies, oldies but goodies. I was fortunate enough to, I was going to say play against Loy Ball in '91 at the World Student Games, but I think the phrase being on court with is a little more appropriate. We knew then he was going to be special at just 17 years of age, and he's proved to be just that. Still issues for Brazil, and more issues than they normally have to deal with. That's been the way of things. It's the last 6 months really that have exposed the fragility of this current Brazilian setup. Nowhere near as dominant as in previous years. 2 or 3 teams beat them this year in the World League, including that rather distressing loss to the USA on home turf. They were hoping to go out to Beijing with a real flourish, winning the World League in front of the home fans. And Stanley absolutely clumped that one. Clever. Riley Salmon appreciating the situation there. It was tight, and he just looking good for 2-1 at the moment. And the indications that we saw in that second set that they do have more than Brazil can cope with are starting to come to fruition in the third. Big decisions for coach Bernardinho of Brazil if his team can't get it together. What on earth was that attack? Dante is quite a physical specimen. He's just run backline play for this side tandem that turned into almost an A-quick. I've seen middle attacks slower than that at international level. Now things have changed. Nice shot. Salmon keeps himself so steady in the air. He's not the most flamboyant of hitters. He's just a get the job done merchant. Just pinged off of Riley Salmon's arm or knee. Dante with a very sharp cross-court spike. But the ball starting to look a little more relaxed, a little more comfortable out there. Bossing the show at the moment. Andre Heller to serve, the Brazilian middle blocker. Very well dealt with by the USA. They were in a bit of trouble there as William Pretty struggled for the pass. My bad, says Riley Salmon, for letting Pretty pass that. And luckily for the USA and for Clayton Stanley, Lloyd Ball gave him a terrific set to hit. 4-point lead for the Americans, 25 the target. Just another great rally. The block is really working. Both teams in control at the net. And finally, the block does capitulate, and it's a great shot from Miller. Manufactured shot at that. Drilled off that right hand of Gustavo. Is he happy about that, do you think? The USA winning a lot of those big rallies. Bernardinho forced to call another timeout, but what do you say to your players from here? They know they're in trouble. They know the USA have got too much for them with this present lineup. Bernardinho will not want to believe that. I wonder if that will blinker his decisions. But remember, the next decision he makes could cost Brazil the gold medal, full stop. And as a coach, that is sometimes pressure that you really don't need. So many factors cloud your judgment at this stage. I want to bring X, Y, or Z onto court because I know what they'll give us. But if I do make that change, will that change actually weaken us for a short time while he adjusts to the court position? And before you know it, the game's gone. Sometimes the easier option is to stay with who you've got, but changes are going to have to be made. They've taken Dante out of this game. And for the moment, despite all these big hits that have punctuated this set, for the moment, Dante is out. And it's the USA that are stopping him. They're serving him out, they're blocking him out, and they're causing him all sorts of bother. 20-14 in the third. Salmon's missed that by a mile. So Bruno in for Andre. This isn't a permanent substitution, this is a tactical substitution, and Samuel for the first time. So we're not going to see Murillo come in. We're going to see Samuel come in. No, we are going to see Murillo for Dante. Well, Bernardinho's made his move. I thought it was just tactical. And he's kind of hidden away his actual substitution. That's the big one. Murillo is in for Dante. That's Bernardinho's call. He's taken Dante out. He knows he's in trouble. And he's combined it with a tactical substitution, which Murillo and Bruno and Samuel are only too happy to underline. Brilliant ace serve from his son. There you go, Dad. There's a point. Great blocking. And this is a really good change-up. Two new players in that front line now for Brazil, and it's worked, and a timeout called by Hugh McCutcheon. He's still got some coaching work to do in this third set, which I don't think he thought he would have had to have done. USA looked home and dry then. Ebb and flow, gentlemen. It's words and use of words by the coaches that have been used many times in training before, so we don't see everything at training. We don't see the discussions that occur back in the conference suites at the hotel when the players and teams are preparing for the match. But Hugh McCutcheon will hope that simple sentences like that trigger a whole set of reactions and thoughts from the players that they've conditioned over the last year or so of training. Great pass, well handled in the end, but the timing's not quite there. Good touch from Lambourne on the move. Had to be a dig set. It's not good from Sergio. If the libero player is in front of the 3-metre line, therefore in front court, they can't volley the ball up in the air for the hitter. They can only bump the ball, dig it up in the air. And this one drifted to the net. Pretty, using that great jump height of his to shut down Samuel. Ryan Miller again. Not quite got the same options without Dante on court, so they choose to serve Giba. That's Murillo even. Two of them, similar body shape, similar style. Very well handled by him. He goes back to the service line. I wonder if that change is permanent. Will Dante start the next set? Pretty's just trying to hit it too hard. Good touch, Lambourne. This is horrible. And Brazil thankfully getting the point, because there was a couple of handling faults in there from the USA, not picked up by the referee. Good touch by Lambourne. This one is moving through what you would think is a reasonably predictable cycle, and now that the USA have got control of this game, you suspect that they can take it over the line from here, but there's nothing as a given in volleyball, and against a squad like Brazil, who can produce the most amazing plays from nothing. Well, it's never over till it's over. We've got just a brief sight there of the stats pack, stats software on the Brazilian coaching computers, aimed at giving ideas of zones, numbers, attacks that they can feed into the blockers at the net and say, look, this is what's happening, this is how you've got to react. And an out serve from Murillo takes the USA closer to a 2-1 lead in the final. Take another step closer. The man that's come on to replace Dante has not come on with an amazing amount of effect, and well, it's going to have to go to the shoulders of one man. Giba's going to have to take this on, and he does so admirably. Right on cue. As a hitter, you can only take it on if your setter will give you the ball. Beautiful hit. But I think Giba will be having a word with both Brazilian setters and just telling them he wants the ball. Americans move to set point for a 2-1 lead in this gold medal match, and that would be quite incredible. 24-20 then. It's pretty to serve. That really went for it. Went for broke. Why not? 24-21 though. Samuel to serve. And he's missed it. It's the American set. A slightly drawn out affair, that one, with neither team able to quite get into top gear again. As the guys just prepare themselves for this fourth set, there's a few little hugs going on from the likes of Riley Salmon, who I think realise how important this is. The fourth set of the Olympic final to begin. And the USA, Loy Ball, Clayton Stanley and co. have a 2-1 lead against Giba and his merry band of men. And I'm afraid for Brazil, there are some issues that Bernardinho is going to need to address. He's addressed one. And in a big move, he's removed Dante from the court. He's replaced him with Murillo. The other big move would be in the opposite position, and if Andre doesn't perform straight away in this fourth set, then I think we will see the change, and Bernardinho will look to bring in that opposite position either Samuel or Anderson. Well, Dante is on. That's amazing. I didn't see that. Dante was hidden away behind one of the middle blockers. And I think that's, well, that's just flummoxed me a bit. I'm surprised at Bernardinho's decision there to bring Murillo in at the expense of Andre, because for me, Andre's the player that the USA have struggled to come to terms with. He just simply hasn't had a decent enough and regular enough service of attack ball. Now Murillo hitting in his preferred position out on the wing. And it looks to me as if Bernardinho has switched it up so that, well, will Murillo be replacing Andre? And will Dante remain out at 4 with Giba? Just looking to see the way this rotation pans out for the Brazilians. At the moment, it is Dante that is blocking in that opposite position. It may be Dante that's going to play there instead of Andre at position 2, and that's a surprise for me. Dante's the man that I would have removed from court. With so many Olympic symbols around the venue, all you have to do is go back to a wide shot to remind yourself what you're watching. Remind yourself that you're privileged enough to see these two great volleyball teams go head-to-head for the gold. Brazil then have moved their players around. Dante and Murillo are on court. It's a complete change from their opening 6. In terms of positions anyway. And a smiling Hugh McCutcheon realises his team are getting closer and closer to this medal. It's going to be a poignant moment for he and wife Elizabeth Bachman if the USA do win this. Being able to share that with his father-in-law Todd will be a tough one. Very cagey start, not surprisingly, to this fourth set. Brazil with the minor advantage, immediately cancelled out. And that nothing serve from Murillo. A worried looking Dante being charged with the responsibility of the opposite hitting position. And when you've just played the entire tournament out at position 4, it's not that easy to come to terms with, and his first hit from the back line is a good one. Now, the judgment will be reserved. The jury's still out. But don't forget, Bernardinho, capable of masterstrokes within the game of volleyball, the coach who has had more success than most. And he might just have pulled off a masterstroke. Surely Dante will get the ball this time. No, another hit for Jiba. And he just creates the shot. Something he's had to learn in the last couple of seasons since his jump has started to fall away. Doesn't get the same height as he used to. And now he's had to learn that there's more to volleyball than just pounding it straight down on the floor. Great finesse shot from him. 6-4 Brazil. Now we're entering into a key phase for the Americans, and their best chance to win this game has appeared right now. Brazil have changed their lineup. They've put players in different positions, out of position in Dante's case. They're not going to have a better chance to win a gold medal than this. They want to finish it now. If they play a whole set and go to 5 and let Brazil back into this one, then it's going to mean two things. It's going to mean that the Brazilian spirits are once again high coming into the tiebreaker set. But probably more importantly, it's going to mean that they've allowed Dante a whole set to practice his new position. Marcelino to serve. Easily spotted by the passer, Richard Lambourne, who delivers that to the head of Loy Ball, who immediately feeds the high-flying David Lee. Plenty of calls going up from the blockers at the net. Jiba's created a point from nothing. Sergio more than happy. Maybe it's about time that Sergio did ramp it up a bit. Brazil lead in the fourth set, and they need to. First chance to stay with one of the technical timeouts. Oh, he's hit Riley Salmon right in the face. Not hard. Not deliberately, but it's earned the point. Salmon annoyed with himself for taking his arms away. He never penetrated that block. That's what it's all about at this stage. Don't expect to hear any pearls of wisdom from the coaches in the timeout area. This isn't about coming up with a magical formula to win a volleyball match. All that's happened in the gym for the months and months and months prior to this tournament. And as you heard from McCutcheon, stick to the plan and execute. 8-6 then, 2-point lead for Brazil. USA's game plan is a good one, and coach Hugh McCutcheon is determined that they stay with it. Brazil on the back foot and reeling. Dante has been moved to the opposite position, which could be a problem for Brazil. He's coped with it so far, but that's not his regular playing position. Murillo, the backup swing hitter, is on. And this is the USA's best chance to finish this game. It's another flowing attack through the middle. This time, Ryan Miller with the kill. Now the foundation for this American performance has been their blocking. Clayton Stanley can put in a big serve here. Can the USA block themselves back level? There's your answer. That was a stunning hit from Murillo. And that's where he should be playing. He should be at 4. He shouldn't be in the opposite position, which is where he got originally used. Watch this. Stayed so strong. That's just amazing. That's one of the hits of the tournament right there. And it's given a 2-point lead to Brazil. Great swing. 2 sets in a row from Loy Ball to the middleman, Ryan Miller. Absolutely overloading that middle position at the moment, and Gustavo's struggling with it. Good touch, and it's still in play. Oh, magic! Unbelievable from the Americans. And now 4 touches called by the referee. Well, that's a little unlucky for the USA. And Jiba unhappy about that reaction from the Americans, and he just wants the referee to be reminded that there was a couple of problem plays in that rally. Riley Salmon wants a bit of the action now. And this game is warming up nicely. Kicking off, one might say, in places. That was some rally. And that's what a good middle pattern creates for you. 2 sets to Ryan Miller in the middle. And then finally, when the ball is transported out wide and quick, Gustavo's gone with the wrong man. And he's left Marcelino exposed for a quick hit from Pretty. Great volleyball. Both sides of the net. Miller to serve. Little touch off the block, it's a chance. Loy Ball got left with a hitting. He's back into the setting role. And Pretty shoved on the floor. Gustavo's got his own back. And Brazil, the masters of the big fight. Fight on. The 2 brothers again. Murillo and Gustavo Endres next to each other at the net. And that sends Murillo back to the service line. Frightening speed from Pretty. Not many players can hit a ball this quickly. Straight through the seam in the block, well worked. That's not like Loy Ball. Now, if you think about it, Brazil built this lead at around about 5. So they went 7-5, and they've now maintained this lead for a long time. They're sticking ahead. They're not giving the USA anything at the moment. And it doesn't matter about the USA side out. As long as Brazil counter with their own side out, from here they're actually in a position to win this set without having to take another point on their own service. All about the side out for Brazil from here. They need to stabilise this hitting pattern. Pretty it is. Dante stopped. And the same can be said of Riley Salmon. And Andre Heller, who's had a quiet time for the last 45 minutes or so. Back in with a good block. Really great arrival. Look how far he was over the net. Valuable point last time out. It means that the USA have to make a couple of kills to get back on level terms. Here's the first of them. Now they've got to do one on their own service, getting that through the arms of Andre Heller, and a mix-up between Sergio and Murillo. Again, that pipe is closed down. It's a free ball to the USA. This to level it up then. And Brazil's small advantage is gone. That Riley Salmon shot that looks like a throw, but it's not. It's a hit. He chops on top of the ball. Look at that. Very clever play. And he's just dropped that bang on the line. That is definitely one to try at training ahead of the new season. He'll score loads of points with it. Sergio with a typically animated leave. Why just leave the ball when you can go and pose next to it as it goes out? That's the bonus of having Sergio in your team. It's a live wire that never switches off. Beautiful pipe attack. Again, Miller is causing the problems. He's only been fed 2 balls in this set, both of which were put away with aplomb. And consequently, Brazil are leaping and blocking shadows at the moment. They don't know where the ball's going, if the pass from the USA is good. Clayton Stanley. Net touch helping that. Oh, that's great in from Richard Lambourne, but a waste from Riley Salmon. And there's a bit going on, I tell you, between Riley Salmon and Andre Heller. Neither man is averse to a chat at the net, and it's getting a bit tasty. Heller, who plays his volleyball in Italy with Modena in Serie A. And funnily enough, top volley is the Italian team that Riley Salmon plays. There's bound to be a bit of history between those two from the league matches. Oh, throw down attempt. That's great work from the USA to keep it in play. And a little deflection into the face of William Priddy, and Murillo's coming into his own at the moment. We've seen some stunning hits from Murillo. Andre, Rodrigo, Anderson, Samuel all wait on the bench very nervously. Brazil coming back into it. Let's listen to the coaches again, see what they got to say. He's an intense individual, some say driven. Bernardinho has got the results with this Brazilian squad that the Brazilian public wanted. Well, that's good to see. Both sets of fans next to each other enjoying this game. 16-14 though to Brazil. It's a 2-point lead for the South Americans. Set 4. Brazil looking to take this Olympic final to a 5-set decider. The USA, I think it's their best chance to win the gold medal in this set. If they can put this one away, then they will be champions by 3-1, and they really don't want to go into a tiebreaker set with Brazil. Great kill from Ryan Miller, his third of this fourth set. Riley Salmon's had his problems in this game. He'll serve. Good serve as well. Murillo's offensive power has been quite brutal at times, and from a small outside hitter by modern standards, he's doing a great job. And so far, Bernardinho's decision to bring him on at 4 in place of Dante, and then move Dante, the man in your picture, to the opposite position to replace Andre, has been a good one. It's a bit out of left field, but it's worked. The Americans must know this is their chance. They might be 1 point down, but they've got Brazil where they want them. And Brazil, to a certain extent, floundering through a couple of the rotations. Miller. Great middle attack. Gustavo had to work for his angle, but he made it. He's a big unit, is Gustavo, and when he hits it, it stays hit. Sat next to him on a small Brazilian internal flight a couple of years ago, and they had to crowbar him into the seat. Oh, what a mess. Again, a bad call. We've seen more of those in this match than we've seen in any other game. And it's all down to nerves and pressure. Gustavo gets the stop. Brilliant blocking from him. Just has a little word with his captain, Giba, to say calm down. I think Giba just lost it a bit. Went for an overt celebration through the net. You're not allowed to do that in volleyball. It's an automatic card. You have to keep things to yourself. You can celebrate. That's the long and short of it anyway, so to speak. 1916 Brazil. And now it's got 5 sets written all over it, but you wouldn't have said that a couple of minutes ago. USA were in with a shout. Goodness me. Here we go again then. Murillo to serve. And the timeout good enough to disturb his concentration. Coach McCutcheon of the USA does his job. Pretty's got to take control. Riley Salmon's got to start finding his shots again. And one thing that's been missing in this fourth set, the American block has gone AWOL. Service missing the sideline for a free point to Brazil. They've made it to 20. Now there'll be one fleeting opportunity, which Brazil doesn't always give out, but I think they'll get just a little nervy come 22, 23 points. That's when the USA may be able to make some ground. Remarkable pass to keep that in play, but it's going to be a tough point here for the USA. Free ball then Brazil. And a great block. Andre Heller spoilt things there with his free ball pass. It took Marcelino off the net and immediately reduced the Brazilian options. To make the pipe effective, you really have to have the middle running convincingly. William Pretty to serve, 2 points down. Great defensive dig again off that serve. And stopped at the net, big time by Clayton Stanley. Is this the USA fight back? Stanley's just put the opposition captain on the floor and made Giba look very ordinary indeed, and that's quietened the crowd here in the Capitol Gymnasium, and it's forced Bernardinho to make a timeout call. And he's gone calm all of a sudden from the intensity of earlier in the match. He's keeping it very quiet, very controlled. Now watch this for a block. Lovely dig from Murillo. Just kept it in play. Sergio, cool as you like, got the volley out wide, but it was an easy read for the US block, and down it went. 109 kilometres per hour, incidentally, for that service, which seemed to flash over the net. 9 kilometres slower than the serves that Clayton Stanley has been drumming into court. Pretty then. He's the biggest serve of his game. Controls it in court. And a great touch from Lambourne. Stanley, he's done it. It's 20-all. Oh, that is amazing play from Richard Lambourne, the libero. He camped out in that opposite position. He just stood up to the Djiba cross-court hit, and then the cut shot down into the court. Murillo barely moved, and that's intelligent hitting from Clayton Stanley. He's having the tournament of his life, is the opposite player for the USA. Pretty will serve again. He's got his team level. This is the Americans' big chance for gold right here. Touched it. It's going wide. Battered by Salmon, and Brazil still in this rally. Free ball USA. Clayton Stanley again. Off the fingers and defended by Murillo. Tipped and played brilliantly. The USA with another chance. Still no end to this rally. And Djiba goes into the net. Oh my goodness, what a turnaround. Bernardinho has gone mad. He wants the setting called for the USA, but that's not going to happen. The point's gone. I think he's asking for the libero to be penalised. He says Richard Lambourne was in a front court position when he volleyed that ball, and that did touch the arms. Brazil unlucky on 2 counts in that rally, that's for sure. But that's the way it goes sometimes, and it doesn't matter if you're the Olympic and world champions. The calls sometimes go against you, and you just have to take them and get on with it. Bernardinho calls a timeout to at last put a stop to the pain that his team are going through at the moment, and they have thrown away a lead in this 4th set, and I think they've thrown away Olympic gold. USA with the chance of a lifetime for the players that have been with the squad for the last 10 years or so and have had very little return for their international efforts. This is their swan song. This is the last chance for the likes of Loy Ball to add to their medal tally. Loy Ball, Ryan Miller, Thomas Hoff, players that we may not see again on the Olympic stage. William Pretty also. Yes. One more try from Djiba. He's trying the impossible. That decision will not be overturned. It's gone, it's done, and the match must move on. And Djiba just marks the card of a couple of American players as he wanders back. This is getting very tasty indeed. Pretty with a sensational service run to go again. He's missed it. Oh no. And Djiba's game has fallen to pieces. That was the hit that he needed for his team. And in years gone by, Gilberto Godoy-Falot would have put that away for fun, and he's missed it off the top of his fingers and out. 22-20 USA. Well, forget that service error. This is the USA's gold medal to lose. Brazil will serve, and the USA have to make a series of side-out plays from here. 3 more successful kills from the setting of Loy Ball, and the gold medal is the Americans. Brazil not going to make it easy for them. Oh, it's a freak block. How did that happen? Unbelievable, says Loy Ball. And I think Clayton Stanley feels the same. He jumped to block, he took his arms away, and he actually tried to get out the way. And Riley Salmon with the presence of mind to shout at Hugh McCutcheon, get me off court, get Tommy Hoff in. And I think McCutcheon's gonna respond. Oh, that's brilliant thinking from the former captain. Hugh McCutcheon caught up in the moment, forgot the blocking substitution, and Salmon is off. Hoff is in. This is the USA's gold waiting to be taken. Brilliant shot. A little reminder that Jeeba's still the man. Salmon back in. The substitution didn't work, but it was worth a try. That's the end of Tommy Hoff's set. And the captain has to go away and nervously sit and wait once more. Bruno comes on. The coach's son is in. And this will be the tactical swap that we've seen before, or is it? No, it isn't. It's Jeeba off court for Bruno to come in. And the intensity of this Brazilian side continues. Jeeba will be disappointed at being removed, but his one thought was to teach or to tell Bruno Rezende what was expected of him. This guy can serve. Good work. And Salmon just has to reuse on that one. It's a middle attack. Oh, it's brilliant. That is sensational from Ryan Miller. He committed totally to that attack, and Loy Ball ran in and just needed to see his middleman in the air to go with it. Miller appeared, Loy Ball fired it to him, and it's a point for the gold medal. 2 match points now for the USA for a sensational victory. It's going to be Clayton Stanley to serve. Does he go for it for the ace? Yes, he does. Great dig. Wide to Murillo, off the fingers and out. Brazil stay alive in the gold medal match. Dramatic stuff here in the Capital Gymnasium in Beijing. And the USA have a swing for gold. It comes down to this. Everything that a player dreams of in their volleyball career right here, to have one hit to win the Olympic medal. It'll be Andre to serve. He'll try and pressure Lambourne. No, it's Pretty that passes. It's going wide. Is it to Clayton Stanley? Not down. Brilliant work from the Brazilians. Stanley again. And it's gold! USA have done it. What a game. What a